What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Horror Heads podcast. I am Rich Mallory here with my co-host Jerry Lorenko.
What's going on, man?
Yeah, you seem a little more subdued. Usually you come in on fire, so hopefully everything is all right over there and you're just kind of thirsty. You can follow us on Instagram at Horrorheads Podcast. Email us horrorheadspodcast at gmail.com. If you're listening to this on audio on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your podcast, that's totally cool, but we highly recommend you go over to YouTube, watch the video. You could see how drunk we all get. You could also see the really cool background of a guest we have on tonight. Very excited to welcome back friend of the show, Tim, who is the host of the Average Reviews podcast and the organizer of the Dread broadcast, is here to celebrate St. Patrick's Day with us. Welcome, Tim.
Yeah, excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, super stoked to have you back on again. It's always a blast. This is our St. Patrick's Day episode. A little bit later, we're going to be announcing the winner of our St. Patrick's Day giveaway. We are giving away a Leprechaun Blu-ray collection set and a limited edition Terrifier 2 pint glass. So hopefully y'all entered and are eagerly awaiting who the winner is. Tonight we're going to talk about two Irish horror movies, two very different horror movies. We're going to talk about Stitches, the clown horror comedy from 2012, and Caveat, a bunch different, more subdued, I guess, psychological horror movie from 2020. So before we kind of get into that, we're doing something a little different. We usually do drink bourbon or whiskey on this show, but it is St. Patrick's Day. So I believe we are all going to be drinking some Guinness, and I want to pour mine before it gets warm. Jerry has a nice Guinness can. I have it in a bottle because I couldn't find the can, but whatever, it's going to go in a glass and that's going to be it. Tim, are you drinking with us tonight?
I'm drinking, but I don't like beer, so I went with the traditional Irish cider.
Oh,
so
shit.
I have some hard cider with us.
Love it.
Very cool. Very cool. What brand do you have? Do you know?
I couldn't find actually any Irish brand, so I just grabbed Blake's, which is a kind of local Michigan place.
Okay, very cool. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of beer either, to be honest with you, but I do things for the show I normally wouldn't do, and that's what we're doing tonight.
I thought about doing it.
There's plenty of things I've drank on the show that I've regretted. I'll be honest though, I do actually like Guinness. I do like stout. However, this is probably going to be the only time I drink it the entire year because I'm not a big beer person either. But fuck it, before this gets warm, let's all cheers to that. So cheers.
Cheers. Beer.
and I thought mine would be cold, even though it's been in my fridge. It feels warm, but
it's been in there for 2 days and it's still not cold.
It was hard to find. It was hard to find cans over here. I'm in kind of my neighborhood borders a very Mexican neighborhood, so it's tough to find any beer that isn't a Mexican beer. But I did find the bottle, so I'm going to drink this and enjoy it. Tim, how's that cider?
It's good. And I actually did research. I don't normally drink ice in cider, but apparently that's the way it's served in Ireland. So
okay, true to the game.
Yep, they'll do a pint over ice. So
awesome. So I mean, people that have listened to our show
over ice.
Yeah, I know. I'm about to I don't know what I'm gonna do to get through this, but we're gonna get through it. Luckily, hopefully there's no drinking games planned because this might be tough, but we'll see. So Tim, welcome back to the show. I mentioned you have two big things going on. One is you do host the Average Reviews podcast. The other is you organize something called the Dread broadcast. Jerry and I have been on both of those programs. So we'd love to kind of hear a little bit about, for those of you who are not familiar, Tim, give us the elevator pitch for both of those really fun podcasts.
Yeah, the Average Reviews, you guys were part of our Valentine's Day, My Bloody Valentine episode. And it was a perfect example of what we're trying to do, which is celebrate how everybody watches movies differently. Like everybody walks away with something different from a movie. And instead of fighting and arguing in the comment section, we try to have a discussion about it and see where we land. So that's what we do at The Average. We invite the audience to join us and join in the comments and be part of the conversation. And
yeah, one thing I liked about it, I'm sorry to cut you off really quick, both shows, they are live. So you could kind of participate if you're a fan at home. And yeah, you just mentioned Jerry and I were on the Valentine's Day episode. I think I was the only one who disliked My Bloody Valentine. So it was a very interesting conversation, but it's always a fun dialogue. I love kind of arguing about horror, right? That's what we kind of do here. So
yes.
Yeah, very fun. So, but similar but very different is the Dread broadcast, where again, you get together a group of just horror fans, but it is a little bit of a different format. So you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So the Dread broadcast is really about building community. So it's about bringing together different content creators, Usually a creative, if we can get a creative person to hop in and do a little interview. We're kind of moving away from the interview segments, but we're keeping a steady group of regulars with plenty of room for new people to join every episode. But wanted to get some stability and really focus on conversation. So this month will be the first time in the new format where we're going to have I don't want to say itinerary, but like a list of the biggest horror things this month. So like Joe Bob's Last Drive-In being done, Scream 7 box office, or How Ready or Not 2. We'll talk about the state of horror for the month of March with all those creatives involved.
And then real quick, so Dread Broadcast is once a month, right? Can you tell us when people can tune into these?
It is the last day of the month, no matter if that ends on a Saturday or a Monday, whatever the last day of the month is. Weekdays are 8 p.m. EST, weekends are 9 p.m. EST.
And then how often do you drop episodes for average reviews? When do those come
Every
out?
other week.
Every other, what day?
Yep. It's Wednesdays. Yeah.
Wednesdays. All right,
Yep.
cool. Well,
Wednesdays is the live stream. Thursdays is when it goes on the podcast platforms. Yep.
awesome. Good to know. So I know at the beginning I told everybody to switch over to YouTube to watch the video. I'm actually now going to tell you to go back to your audio on Spotify because I just realized this beer is going to make me burp throughout the entire episode. And I could cut it out in the audio, but I don't know if I'm going to cut it out in the video. So apologize in advance if you see me go off camera because this beer is already kind of hitting me.
Can't reach that mute button, the space bar mute it.
Well, it's not just the sound; it's like my face when it actually happens. So this is gonna be a challenge.
Kind of go like this.
yeah, I'm just gonna kind of tilt my head.
What's that guy
off
doing?
camera a bit.
Yeah, this is a very, very different experience for me. I'm really not a beer drinker, and I'm gonna tell you the main reason why. Like, this is like a pint. That is a lot of liquid for me. Normally I drink like an ounce and a half at a time, and I'm pretty happy with that. And I could like go 2-3 hours. I don't have to get up every 2 seconds to use the bathroom. But we're gonna see how this goes tonight with this beer, because I feel like I'm gonna take at least 1 or 2 breaks.
No, I mean, if anyone's seen me, I'm constantly hydrating. I don't know if it's nerves or if I'm always thirsty, but I'm literally putting something to my mouth every 2 seconds. And no jokes there, please, guys.
Yeah, like oral fixation jokes.
You set it up.
Damn. All right. All right. Well, let's move on and get into the movies we're going to talk about. So I mentioned we're doing Irish horror tonight. We're going to do Caveat from 2020, and we're going to do Stitches from 2012. I think I would start with Caveat, and I'll give the plot of it really quick. A lone drifter suffering from partial memory loss accepts a job on a deserted island to look after a psychologically troubled woman in an abandoned house, and he's supposed to be there for 5 days to look after this woman who's suffering from a condition. Of course, once he's there, he finds out there are ulterior motives for him being there and a supernatural force. So we did another film from this director. We did Oddity, which I believe was Damian McCarthy's follow-up film. Very similar films, I would say. They're like stylistically, the look of them, very similar. So if you're a fan of Oddity, you'll be a fan of this. If you're not a fan of Oddity, probably won't be a fan of this one. I would say they're both slow burns. There's always a supernatural kind of creepy element to it, and the locations are very desolate and dark, which is a vibe. So this was my first time watching this movie. Tim, have you seen this one before?
No, both of these were first time watches for me.
Okay, what'd you think of Caveat?
Uh, it was not my favorite. So it was not my favorite. And I know last time I was on the show, we talked The Changeling, which is a
Yes.
slow burn, very atmospheric as well. The payoff in this movie did not do it for me. The payoff in this movie felt like I wasted an hour and 20 minutes. It looks great. I thought it was really well shot, good looking movie, but the core story just wasn't super invested in.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it feels like it's an overly complicated story that didn't need
Yes.
to be overly complicated. And that's kind of how Oddity is too. My main thing, so when we reviewed Oddity, and I have a very similar take on this movie, it's creepy like when it needs to be. I'm invested, but then there's like very convoluted plot things. I don't know if it's just the story or the way the story like unfolds, where I was kind of confused by a lot of it. And I feel like in this type of movie, I shouldn't have been confused.
I'd agree with that.
How about you, Jerry? What do you think on this movie?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel if you're setting yourself up to like buy into like this plot from the start. Really, whatever happens after that, it's like okay, you're like okay, cool, because it's kind of a crazy plot like when you think about it. And then as it unfolds, I mean, I think there are a lot of twists and turns, and it is kind of told like out of sequence because the main character Isaac did have like some sort of memory loss, and it seems like we're just kind of learning things as he's learning things as he remembers them. So I mean, I did find that interesting, but as you both said, really slow burn. Like it like it's I wouldn't even say it's a slow burn. It's a crawl burn is what I'd call this one. It crawls to a stop, I think, after about 20 minutes or so, 30 minutes, and you're like, ooh, where's this going to go? But I think overall, I mean, it's a creepy film, it's an unsettling film, and I think there's a lot of things that happen in this film that I never really thought like I would see in a film. It was kind of fucked up, you know. I mean, if we want to get into it a bit, just thinking about like one of the caveats of the deal of Isaac going over there to watch this woman was, of course, he has to wear this chained vest, and for me, that is one of the sickest things I've ever seen in a film, and I thought that was kind of cool.
It'd be a deal breaker right there.
Yeah. So
but you have to buy into it though, Tim. You have to.
Yeah. So the setup of this movie, and I would say probably the first 20 minutes is really interesting, right? Because
Yeah.
you have like this opening, there's an opening scene that's really creepy, and you're like, what the fuck? And it basically focuses on the, I think her name is Olga, who is the woman trapped in the house. And yeah, and she's got this little rabbit toy that beats on a drum, and she's like cutting holes in the wall, and you're like really not sure what the hell's going on, but you're like, what am I going to watch? Like it sets you up for, I'm expecting something huge after this, right? Because that's a big thing. And the next scene is this not creepy, this kind of like con artist guy, Mo, who's a shady kind of character, is talking to Isaac, who's again, this drifter, is this bearded guy. And he's trying to convince him to take this job. And like, the more he kind of tells you about the job, the more you're like, ooh, this sounds like not what I want to do. And they take a boat to this island, and at first Isaac's like, what are we doing on an island? Like, why didn't you tell me that? And then he gets to the thing where you need to stay in this house for 5 days to take care of this woman, and I'm gonna put this vest on that is chained to the wall so you can't go in certain rooms. Which again is crazy when you think about it. Like, and the craziest thing is like this guy didn't bring a change of clothes, and even if he did, you can't change your shirt, so you're gonna be
Can't change your
stinking.
shirt, you can shower, like
yeah,
you
you're gonna
couldn't reach
stink
the
for 5 days.
bathroom.
Yeah.
Like
My
I
biggest
didn't
question.
Good.
Sorry, my biggest question was he's in there in the chain, and he's watching this psychotic woman. She's free to do whatever.
Yeah.
That's what I'm not putting that on unless she's chained too. This isn't fair.
Yeah, and you don't even really know what her condition is. Just she's fucked up in some kind of normal 1 minute, fucked up in the next minute. And you know, I like these movies where you don't know if it's supernatural or psychological until like the end. And I kind of like how they toyed around with that. Like, you know, something's going to happen. You're assuming there's a ghost, but maybe there's not. And I think they did a really good job of setting up the creep factor of it. I think the setting is awesome. This house that he's in is fucked up. Like, it's just a mess, and it just looks uncomfortable and dirty. And it, like, I think they did a really good job of kind of creating tension there. But again, like you said, as the story kind of unfolds and you find out that, you know, Mo really wanted him there to do like this horrible deed or for some other stuff to happen. And it kind of falls off a cliff, I guess, if I would say. And you never really, there's a lot of questions that never get answered. Like, and maybe I missed it, but you know, you find out later that Isaac was in this house previously, but has completely forgotten it, and he's done something terrible. And I don't think they ever explained like how that happened, right? Or did I just miss it? Because it seems like, how did you not remember being in this house, deserted house on an island? It just seems odd to me. Like, there was a lot of weird kind of things in this movie.
I thought that was faked. So they told him he had been there to kind of trick him into thinking he did it. But all of that was planting it in his brain. He had never actually been there. That's the way I walked away interpreting it. Like,
so you think they stole his jacket and planted it there? Like, I could get on board with that for sure.
He had never, like, the story about the dad in the basement is the dad, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And him being the one who shut the door, and like none of that was real. It was the other guy.
Interesting.
And
okay.
he was trying to make like the girl kill Isaac to take the fall for it and clean up, wash his own hands of it. That's the way I took it.
See, that's why we have you on, Tim, because Jerry and I are alcoholics and we miss some of these things. So I appreciate you. No, like that's interesting you say that. And I didn't pick up on a lot
I
of
like
that.
that
But
take for sure.
yeah, and I think because the movie is slow, it's very easy to miss things. I know for me, if especially
Absolutely.
nowadays, like my attention span, and we're doing something for the show, I do put my phone away other than to take notes, so I'm not like looking at my phone, but my brain still does wander. So it did wander a lot in this movie, and I did rewind it a couple of times because I thought I missed something, and then when I rewound it, I was like, oh wait, I didn't miss anything. Like I wasn't, because things would happen. I'm like, wait, I'm not sure, like how did we get here? And then
The
I thought,
flashback scene.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, how did
I
we
was
get
like,
here?
what's
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, so the movie is kind of a bit all over the place, which is a bummer. And that's how Oddity is too, where when they finally explain the plot to you, you're kind of like, wait, what? Because this movie again is effective. There are some really creepy moments. The rabbit toy is like, which factors into the movie a couple of times. I still don't understand what the point of it was, other than to have like a creepy object. Which did I miss anything, or it was just
I
there? It's like,
feel like it detected paranormal presence, didn't it?
Yeah.
Or no? So I feel like it was like kind of activated whenever like something paranormal was about to happen. I think that's why Olga was kind of walking around with it, trying to like locate maybe where like the activity was going to come from, because literally every single time like something creepy was about to happen, you heard the drumming, and the drumming would get a little bit more intense as the activity developed. But even though they should have used that rabbit a little bit more, because I thought it was like really, really cool. Um, but
it's the
like
best part
the
of the movie was the rabbit.
I agree.
yeah, the 30 seconds that you see it is just not enough to really like drive in like the significance of this rabbit. And to me, there was like three characters in this entire film. You could have spent some more time on this rabbit and really developing like, where did it come from? How does it do this? What is it really trying to tell you? Is it telling you something good or telling you something bad? Like, is it warning you, or is it just kind of like telling you that like you're about to get fucked? Like, like that's it.
Like, do I need to get one?
It's telling the ghost like where you are. Like, I don't know I don't know exactly what it's supposed to be doing. And I thought it was, a little strange that they didn't really flesh that out, being I felt like they had a lot of time in this film to kind of be like, oh, what's this weird thing? Where did this come from? And that could have easily opened up a conversation of like, how it got there, and how it has that ability.
But
So
instead we spent, sorry,
go
we
ahead.
spent
No, go ahead.
20 minutes of him just walking around the house looking at things that don't help flesh out the story at all. Just like, oh, look at this room. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of random objects being picked up, and the place is cluttered to fuck. So there's a lot of stuff around to look at, which does get a little disorienting. I hate when movies over-explain things. Like that drives me crazy, and that's how a lot of movies are now, because they know people are on their phones, and you got to tell them four times like what happened. But I also hate when they under-explain things, and I felt like they under-explained a lot in this movie. And again, maybe on a rewatch, I pick up more. I'm probably not gonna rewatch it again. And I will say there's two other things that I had a hard time with. One is a personal choice. The movie's very desaturated, dark, and bleak, which I just don't like that look for a movie. It's like very gray, the whole movie, which for me, especially if it's slow, makes it feel slower, because there's not a lot of like, it's not pretty to look at, right? It's dark and bleak. And the other thing I had a hard time with, and maybe this is just me, but I had a hard time. The whole movie takes place in this seems like tiny-ish house, but I had a hard time figuring out the layout. Like I kept getting confused, because they'd say, okay, he's in the bedroom, and then someone would be like behind a wall, and there'd be like a hole in it, and I couldn't really tell where people were at certain points in the movie. Did anyone else have that? Like it bothered me a lot, where I'm just like, wait,
I'm
where is he in the house?
100%. I think my favorite shot of the entire film was at the end when it pulls back and shows the island and we see sunlight. And I'm like, hey, I like that. But also, I felt like watching it, we were watching a series of sets, not an actual house. I definitely got that. I was like, even on classic sitcoms, you try to figure out the layout of like, okay, the stairs don't line up with the hallway, whatever. There's no shot at lining up the hallways in this. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and that I'm glad you picked up because I wrote that down. I'm like, is it just me? Like, but that really bothered me. Where a lot of the movie and a lot of the movie is, well, especially towards the last act, it's kind of chasing around the house. You have like three characters basically, and there's a ghost somewhere, and they're all kind of like doing all of this stuff. But I had a hard time. Yeah, who was where? What should I be scared of? What should I be looking for? Yeah, that made it like kind of hard for me to follow.
And I feel like with the chain anchoring him to a central spot, that should have been a very pivotal thing. Even if you just visually try to explain it, like this is how the chain winds through the house. Are we going upstairs, downstairs, around corners? Like following that just to establish the layout would have helped tremendously.
Yeah, because then you're like, okay, where is he going? Is he? Oh, that's where the creepy room is. Oh, don't walk there. You know, like you would have had more of those moments. I think if you would have understood the layout of again this what seemed like a really small house that had probably one of the biggest basements I've ever seen in any house. Basement was probably bigger than a house. Like
It was the size of the island, probably. What I found very strange is I felt like the bathroom was on the first floor and he couldn't reach that. So I don't even want to get into like the anxiety I was feeling that he couldn't actually make it to the bathroom, but yet he can make it up the stairs, down a hall into her doorway, which seemed like it was at the end of a hallway on the second floor, but he was able access to that room that was like right before it. So I understood that the chain reached that, but I didn't understand why the chain didn't reach everything on the first floor. Like, how is that not possible if he could go from the basement up the stairs, down the hall, which seems like it was at the end of the house? So, yeah, it was definitely very confusing, the layout. And I don't know if it was the version that I watched. I don't know where you guys watched this. I watched it on Tubi.
same.
I felt
like there were
Shudder.
strange scene cuts. Like it felt like a commercial was about to happen.
Oh
but
yeah,
then
there's a
there
lot of times it
wasn't.
went to
A
black, and you're
commercial.
like, yeah,
What was that? Was that like a film choice, or was there supposed like I don't think it was made for
Film
TV,
choice.
but it kind of had like a made for TV feel, and it was like it felt very unnatural, and the cuts always came at a surprising time. I was like, oh, I guess this could be a Tubi commercial, but it just went on to the next scene. I found that like really
and there
annoying.
was one where he was in the same room. It was like towards the end where he's in like a kitchen or something like that, and it like fades to black, and then he's like still in the kitchen, and it's literally 60 seconds later. I mean,
what
it
is
is
that?
possible that they did do a cut for like Irish TV, and this is just what got sold to Tubi. You never know. It could be artistic choice, or it could just be the version that we saw had ad breaks. And a lot of times filmmakers will submit a movie with ad breaks to YouTube or Tubi, and then they ignore it, and then they put it where they want to put it. So it could be that. Yeah, I mean, look, I would say I like this better than Oddity, and I don't know if it's because it's a little
Really?
shorter, but they're very close films in my opinion. I wouldn't say I like it a lot better than Oddity, but I liked it a little better, and it might just be because I feel like I was more invested in the mystery aspect of this because it is mysterious, and the other one I kind of wasn't. But I don't know. They're both very similar films. It's very interesting to see. Again, he kind of just recreated the same vibe, which it sounds like the vibe wasn't for a lot of us.
I have a question. Maybe you can answer it. At the end, when he is sawing through the drywall, why doesn't he just punch that drywall?
That was
And
the most
that goes
annoying
on for a
thing.
while too. He's
It was like
sawing
a
for
quarter
like
inch
2
thick.
minutes.
Yeah.
He could easily just barrel through that and it's no issue. But instead, we have like a 6 minute scene of slowly sawing, and it's just like, what is the point?
I felt a lot of tension during that scene. So for me, I don't think we're spoiling anything, but there's a dead body in that room with him. I felt like the dead body was watching me as well as watching him. So as he was sawing, I could kind of feel like, like when someone's staring at you, I could feel that. And like your every motion you make, you kind of like you're thinking about it. So that's why I felt like it was slow, but it was also drywall. So he could have like ran through it if he really wanted. And then I thought it was really strange when Mo came in and he saw that like the drywall was like 3/4 cut through, why he just didn't like take his hand and like pull it open and see like what was going on behind there. He was like, oh, that's weird, maybe
I'm gonna
should
stare at it for 5 minutes.
yeah. But I did think that was, for me, that was probably the creepiest moment of the entire film, and when I felt the most dread was literally that 5 minutes, Tim, where he was cutting through that drywall. So I actually like that scene, but yeah, I thought it was a joke because we all know that drywall is it's like chalk. You can just push them.
I would agree with you. I thought that was the creepiest scene. That being in there with the dead body worked for me. I wish it had been like plaster lath and he actually had to solve
Something, yeah, something,
fall through
yeah.
wood, because the drywall ruined the tension of that for me, because I'm like, what is going on? Just knock it out and go. Why are you elaborate long, like, don't look at me, dead body situation, when you can get out of there quickly? So I would agree though.
Is that a
was
great place to hide a dead body though? Like the whole wall is brick and there's like 2 feet of drywall and they're all looking for like these missing bodies. Like, I wonder where they are.
Did they
Why
even
not bury
explain
it on the
that?
island
behind there.
someplace? They have a whole island that you could bury these bodies on, or throw it in the water. There's a million things they could have done.
Ties some
There is,
rocks
but
to
wouldn't
it.
somebody be concerned about why all of a sudden there's like this little drywall spot on this brick wall? It's like, oh, is there something behind there? I don't know.
What are you walling in
To me,
the
it was like the
basement?
worst hiding. Yeah, it was like literally the worst hiding spot ever for like like I feel like someone would have found that body in like a day.
It felt like somebody had a short story that they tried to
Yes.
stretch into a movie.
Yeah, I could totally see that. This would have been a much better short film. This was 20 minutes. It could have been really awesome. And I think there's a lot of different things they introduce, like some of these flashbacks where, again, it just didn't go anywhere. And it just felt like it was filling time versus like advancing the story, which it could have been. I will say that, again, that last scene, and when the dead body ghost peeks out around the corner and like sees Mo, that was fucking scary. But I think we really want to see the same thing kind of happen in Oddity, where you really want to see something terrible happen to Mo because he's a piece of shit, right? And I don't know, you just want to see something, and it kind of cuts before that happens. So you get to use your imagination, but man, I want to see something really bad happen to that guy.
Especially because I watched the other movie first. So I watched Stitches first. But
Okay.
yeah.
Much different pacing than this one.
Well,
I think that a major
Same
problem with-
runtime though.
Yes,
Yes.
same runtime. I think the major problem with this is we don't know like how Olga got into like that catatonic state. We don't know like what brought her there. We don't really know what Mo's motivation was to kill all these people. It didn't seem like it was financial gain, because like look at what they had. They had like
Just
this
sell the
shack
island.
on this island that clearly nobody even wants to go to this island. It's a piece of shit island too. And so I didn't really understand any of the motivation. So we don't know anything about the background of any of these characters, and we really can't believe it. Everyone's like an unreliable narrator. We can't believe Olga's stories that she's telling about her family, her mother, her father. We can't believe the stories that Mo is telling because he's trying to deceive Isaac. And then we can't believe Isaac either because he has memory loss. And I think that causes, I think that was the intention, was to cause the confusion, but I think in the end it has to wrap up and it makes some sort of sense for us to think about it. And just having like a creepy, unsettling vibe, I don't think that's enough for like a film to like make you watch it over and over again. So I think they needed some more character development in this particular film, but it just wasn't there.
And I think
You
what
two
you,
have-
you
Go ahead.
sorry, go ahead, Tim. Yeah.
You two have both hit on my two biggest complaints about the film. One is two complaints I'll have about any horror film that does these two things. You didn't make me care about the characters. Period. Didn't care about them, so I'm not super invested in the story. I was curious about the mystery, but in the end, the mystery wasn't enough of a payoff for me. And then the other thing you mentioned was it's dark. It is constantly dark, and it doesn't feel real when it's that constantly dark and dreary all the time. So those two things, anytime you do those two things, it takes me out of the film a little bit. You can still enjoy it, but this movie did both of them.
Yeah, and I think you captured it perfectly. I didn't care about the characters and there's only really two that you focus on other than the villain. And I think, Jerry, what you said on paper sounds great. Like, I love this idea of you have these three different characters telling you their narrative, and it's confusing because they're not reliable, and you're trying to figure out like who's telling the truth, who's not. And that to me seems very interesting. But I have to give a shit, and I have to really like believe it. And I wasn't believing it in a lot of this, which is why while the mystery's interesting, it wasn't, like you said, Tim, interesting enough to push forward, because it's not like I have like this is a story I haven't seen before. Like, I haven't seen it done this way, but it's not like that. It shouldn't be that complicated to tell this story, and I feel like they made it overcomplicated.
Not caring about the characters in a horror film. Yeah, if it's a slasher, you don't really care about the characters. They're kill bait. They're just there to like to move, to the next kill. In a story like this, a slow burn like this, there has to be one character that we care about. There's one character we need to latch onto, and one that we have to trust. Because again, once the whole story is kind of laid out in front of you, we still don't really know what the truth was. And that's kind of annoying. So it's like you kind of be like, oh, now I get it. I don't think anyone finished this film and was like, oh, I know exactly what happened, because it's like it depends on which character you believe their story, the most about, like did Olga, kill her mother? Was it Mo? Was it Isaac? We don't know who is telling the truth about any of these things. And in the end, it makes you more annoyed than feeling like up to interpretation or something like that. We'd be like, let me think about this. Like, I didn't want to think about it because I was like, fuck it, it's over.
I will say I am really grateful for the final shot of the movie, which is Isaac freeing this dog that's chained to a post.
Yes.
Which as soon as I saw that, and we'll get into like some animal stuff in a little bit when we talk about Stitches, but like as soon as I saw that, it left a huge bad taste in my mouth. And basically when he shows up to the island, there's like a dog on a very small chain in the front of the house, which to me, it's just like, it was heartbreaking. And I didn't forget about it. And I'm glad they didn't either. In the very end, last shot is Isaac freeing the dog, which is go.
Yeah, that was good. I think it was kind of like some symbolism. The dog was Isaac, or anyone that goes into that house and gets stuck wearing that vest. Like they said, the father wore the vest as well at one point, I believe they said, and the mother used to just kind of fuck with him. Which again, and like, I don't know if that's true, but that's the story they told. But I feel like that dog was just kind of a reflection of what was going on in the house. But yeah, if he got on that boat, man, I would have threw something at my TV if he didn't take that dog with him.
Yeah. I was glad they brought it back, because I was in the third act going, whatever happened to that dog? Why did we see one shot of it and then that's it? So
how long do we think this was? Was this a day? Was this 2 days? I could, that was another problem. I couldn't figure out the time, span of this film. Was he there for the 5 days? Was he there for one day? I know he kind of went to sleep, but did he just fall asleep for a few hours, and it's still the same night and it's the next day? Like, I could, again, too much ambiguity in this film, where I'm like, I don't even know what day it is. I don't know what time it is. I don't know who's who. It was just too annoying.
Which could be good, like disorienting you can create some more tension and fear, but like it doesn't work though. If I'm thinking about these kinds of things, right? It's like I'm not paying attention to the story. If I'm like, wait, where are we? What day is it? Where am I in the house? It's hard to focus on the things that really do matter if you're like, if it doesn't feel like real. I think someone said earlier.
I mean, the only thing I'm thinking about is, does anyone in this film eat? Could they use that kitchen to cook? Did she ever eat? Did Isaac?
Well, they didn't bring any food.
Anyone
with
ever?
them, right?
Yeah. Did anyone ever use the bathroom? Did anyone ever shower? Like all these things. Like
I'm not
all these
cooking in the
things. I mean, the guy should have brought like a bag of crisps or something with them, a few loggers, something. Like what kind of house is this that don't have like a pint of whiskey in the corner, and he's just can at least get drunk while he's trying to kill time? It didn't seem like there was a radio, there didn't seem like there was a TV, a record player. Like how are you going to enter, like, for $200 a night? That's pretty good money, but I'm gonna need to kill like a few hours here and there with like a book, something TV, something. I don't even know if that house had power. Did it have power? I don't even.
Yeah, because the phone.
Oh, okay.
He would have had to have power to that phone.
Why isn't he calling people?
Right? Don't phones have to have power? I haven't had a landline in so long. I don't remember if they. I feel like they.
You know what? I think they do work if the power goes out, because they use very little power, but they do use power, because I have looked this up.
And they get enough through the line.
Yeah, but anyway, so it sounds like we're all in agreement that like this movie did have potential. There's some creepy moments, some scares in it. It's well enough shot. It just wasn't interesting enough to really make the case for a rewatch. And I don't think I ever will. Just like I don't think I'm gonna ever watch Oddity ever again. So, but if you're a fan of Oddity, you'll be a fan of this, I think. So what we do on this show is we rate every movie from a scale of 0 to 5, 0 being the worst, 5 being the best, and we do play a little drinking game tied to that. When we have a guest, that drinking game goes a little bit different. So, Tim, you've played this before. You know you have to choose either myself or Jerry to drink with for the rest of the evening. Right now, I think we both feel similar about the movie, so I can't tell you who is the right choice, but feel free.
Who I feel like I went. Did I go with Rich last time?
I've drank so many beers since then.
I think I did. I think I went Rich last time.
I don't remember.
Okay.
So I need to go Jerry this time.
Okay, so how it's going to work is the rating that I give the film are the number of seconds you and Jerry need to drink for, and then Jerry's going to give his rating. I'm going to drink along with you, and then you're going to give your rating. Jerry and I are going to drink. So I'm going to give this one 2. It's not terrible. It's fine. It's like it's a C-, I would say. It could have been more effective. I'm giving it a 2. It's pretty simple. How about you? Jerry, you go next.
Yeah, I mean, we're probably all going to give it the same thing. I'll be very surprised if Tim gave this a 5. I'd be shocked. So I mean, I'm right there. I don't even know if I'd give it a 2. I'm like kind of teetering on like 1.5 and 2. But you know what? We're sitting here, we're talking about it. There are a lot of points that I didn't think about when I was watching it, and I'm thinking about it now. So maybe there was something there. So I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and give it 2 bloody knives.
All right, so we're all going to drink for 2 seconds. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Yeah, and I picked a great time to pick movies we don't really like because chugging this Guinness is going to be challenging. So Tim, what do you give this 0 to 5 bloody knives?
I also give it 2.
All right, we love it.
All
2's
right.
all around. So cheers, Jerry and I are going to drink. All right, so before we talk about Stitches, which we're gonna get to in a minute, we are excited. This is our first ever giveaway that we've ever done in this show, season 3. We're bringing the heat, so we are ready to announce the winner of our St. Patrick's Day giveaway. Again, we are giving away one Leprechaun Blu-ray collection, has all the movies on it, I believe, and we are giving away a Terrifier 2 Abracadabra edition pint glass, which I wish I entered this contest because I want to win it, but I did not. So we're ready. Jerry, what do we got?
Yeah, man, I'm getting hyped now. I might have started off a little reserved, but I'm so hyped to finally announce, who the winner is of this contest. And I want all you people to know that the glass I've been holding the whole time is not your glass. Yours is nice and wrapped in plastic, and it's in a box getting ready to ship to you. But I had to walk my ass on a cold winter day to Abracadabra to get you that glass. So I want you to know how special it was that I was standing on those same stairs as Art the Clown in that scene of the costume shop. So I just want you to know that this glass is awesome, and they made it specifically for Abracadabra from the Terrifier 2 movie. So, so we've been holding this contest, and our goal was to hit 25 entries for us to kick it off. But we blew that away. We blew that away, guys. We had 44 entries to this. Yeah. So basically what I did is, to keep this fair, is I created like this randomizer app on ChatGPT, and I just entered all the names into the randomizer, and we could actually view right now and watch this lottery happen. So I just want to know if you guys are ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Let's do it. I want to see who won this.
You guys fucking hyped. All right, so
let's do it.
So we're
Get
gonna
a drum roll going.
we're gonna play around with some technical difficulties here for a second as we
I'm
do
very
this,
familiar with those.
because I'm operating it, but we'll see how this goes. All right.
All right. Good luck.
All right, we're going. All right. Here we go.
Alrighty.
Okay, are you guys ready?
I am ready. Let's do this.
So ready.
Here we go.
The only reason I didn't enter is because I knew I was going to be on this episode.
Oh my god, that would have been so awkward.
Could have used a fake name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go with like Dirt Diggler, like Rich always does.
Damn it, you gave away my
Here we
secret.
go. Let's fucking check this out. Ready? In 3, 2, 1. Let's fucking hit it. There they
shit.
are. We're getting cut down. We're down to 10. 5. Whoa.
4,
Oh, shit.
3,
Oh.
2,
There we go.
and the winner is 3,
Oh,
2,
shit.
1.
Hey!
Oh.
All right.
All right, Brian Henriquez 2
Brian Enriquez
is our
22.
winner.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Woo, congratulations.
Awesome,
So, Brian, congratulations to you. The good news is you don't even know that you fucking won right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to contact you after this show and we're going to get this out to you ASAP. So hopefully you could be enjoying this pint and these movies before St. Patrick's Day. So you're going to be super, super surprised when this airs and you could be like, holy shit, you know, but yeah, hopefully you get to enjoy a pint with us on the day. So congratulations. That was a lot of fun.
Very cool. Congrats to Brian Henriquez too. And yeah, look forward. We'll be doing some more giveaways coming up pretty soon because we want to kind of scale and get our numbers up. So thanks everybody who entered. Bummer y'all didn't win, but just better luck next time. And super.
I mean, I didn't win either. I put in Dirk Diggler.
I know. I really want. I've been looking at this class for like 2 months now. I'm like, damn, why didn't I get one?
You should have told me while I was there.
if anyone is from Abracadabra is listening, we just gave your costume store all kinds of free press. So feel free to send us something. horrorheadspodcast@gmail.com. All right. So
this
let's
episode
now.
brought to you.
Yeah, brought to you by Abracadabra.
And I also want to say, if you're ever in New York City, it's a stop, man. You're a horror fan, definitely go see it. You'll literally feel like you stepped into the film. Like it's filmed on location. It's not a set. It looks exactly like that. So it's pretty awesome.
So, okay, we're going to pivot now. We're going to talk about a very different Irish horror movie. We're going to talk about Stitches, which is a clown horror comedy from 2012. Before I give the plot, just a real quick. So Jerry and I did say that a while ago that we weren't going to be talking about any movies that have animal violence in it. Unfortunately, we didn't realize until the very last minute that this had it in it. So we are going to move forward with it, but we're really trying to like not talk about movies, especially when they hurt a dog or a cat. It's just such a fucking bummer and just not necessary. There's so many other ways. I don't know why every time they show a cat in a movie, I like get they have to kill it. They have to hurt it. It's fucking pisses me off and I'm really tired of it. But you know, look, we already watched the movie and now we got to do it. I know there is a website, I believe it's doesthedogdie.com. We're going to start looking up movies before we talk about them because I'm really over it. I don't want to watch any more animal violence and I don't know why they tell us if there's nudity, they tell us if there's fucking cigarette smoking, but they can't tell us if they're going to kill a cat. Even if it's really fake, it doesn't look real. I that's a trigger for me. So
such a bummer. Yeah.
Didn't but like it
at all.
Yeah, but
It actually made it in my notes.
Yeah, it was late last night when I finished watching the film, and it was too late to pivot. I couldn't be hitting up Rich and Tim. And
it also
to watch
happens,
a film on a work day. Yeah. It is a work day, you know. So
it also happens an hour into the movie, so now it's like you're completely invested and waiting for this thing to end, and then it happens. So just so you know, it does happen an hour into the movie. They do really brutally kill a cat. It does look really fake, but it's still in the movie. That said, let's talk about Stitches. So, and that's why, like, I think about like, why did this movie not hit my rotation? Like, why do I not watch this all the time? And that's probably why. So the plot of it is a really kind of just fucked up like clown gets accidentally killed at a children's party. The kids are all a bunch of assholes, and he accidentally dies. And we find out that if a clown doesn't finish a party, he comes back from the dead and finds his own way to finish the party. So the clown does come back and haunts the children that caused his demise many years ago. This is a horror comedy. It does have some really funny moments. There's some really great gore in it. To me, before I kind of kick it over to you guys, what this felt like to me watching it, it felt like one of the old Peter Jackson movies meets like American Pie or Can't Hardly Wait or one of those like 90s kind of teen movies. It has that humor. It has that fun aspect to it. So like there's parts of this that I really did like, which is a bummer because I did like this movie, but I'll probably never watch it again. So Tim, how'd you feel about this one?
I enjoyed this movie. This movie was I have to say, unlike Caveat, it's entertaining. I laughed. It was fast paced, engaging. It's clearly pretty low budget, but that didn't stop it from being fun and doing some awesome stuff.
And you know what, too? This movie, it starts off, you have the opening scene where the kids are assholes and then the clown gets killed. And then like kind of nothing really happens for the next like half hour. And it's like kind of the kids in high school and then they're setting up this party. The horror doesn't come back until maybe 45 minutes into the movie, but I didn't care. like it was interesting to me, and like I liked the dialogue, and I liked how they reintroduced the characters 4 or 5 years later. Like kind of they showed like a bubble on the screen when they popped up for the first time and like told you who this was. And I kind of like the interaction. Again, you have like the one kid who's trying to get laid, like they're trying to throw this party. You got this nerdy kid, it's got no friends. I really enjoyed it, and I thought the banter was really clever. And again, it is Irish, so I don't know half the slang that they're saying, but like I got into the vibe of it, like, and I felt like this movie, if I would have seen this a long time ago, it would have been quotable. Like I would have been kind of dropping some of the one-liners they said. So like I really enjoyed the getting to the horror point. Like I was really into the party. Like I forgot I was watching a horror movie. I'm like, this is fun. And then when the horror happens, like you said, it's very creative kills. They're over the top, but they're fun. And they're very like things I'd never seen before. Like again, the one guy gets his head blown up like a balloon. And then it pops, and then like there's gore everywhere. So there's like so much cool shit in this movie. And man, if there wasn't that scene with the cat, I'd probably watch this all the time because it's a lot of fun. Jerry, I see you
Yeah, I
nodding your
definitely
head.
agree with
Yeah.
that. Yeah, no, definitely agree with that. I mean, just like kind of like how this film starts, you got this clown and he's like, fucking some chick in a trailer and he's drinking and smoking. Like, all right, clearly this is not a good guy. And then he's like, oh, but he's going to a kid's party. This is going to be a disaster. And I think it's funny that when he shows up to this kid's party and the kids are just as much of an asshole as he is. So I was like, oh, all right, what's going to happen here? And again, just even those interactions when they're just kind of being like preteens and they're like so snotty and shitty and they're fucking with him, but he's kind of fucking with them too. And I really enjoyed those interactions because I don't think they show that like enough in films. It's like, all right, these kids are assholes, so this guy's gonna be kind of like an asshole back to them. And I thought that was like super fun. Kind of like what you said. I like seeing them kind of, a few years later and to kind of like still have like some of those like things that kind of like you saw them as a kid they were gonna kind of develop into, like the clownish kid was still funny, the boring kid was still boring, things like that. I thought that was like pretty cool. And again, I think the clown, I think he's pretty cool, man. He was vicious. I definitely think he is a precursor to Art the Clown that we just mentioned a couple seconds ago. Like he hits that level of brutality, and I don't think enough people give this film that credit for like making a clown, this evil.
The difference for me between Art and this guy is Art looks good. This guy looks gross. And that stood out to me. I was like, I put in my notes from the beginning, I said, how did the mom find this clown? He clearly wouldn't come recommended by anybody. He shows up looking like he woke up in the street. I would never hire a clown in the first place and never met anyone who has. But if I had by chance hired a clown that showed up looking like this, I wouldn't let him around the children.
And he shows up in this car that's like this fucked up clown car. And yeah, he rolls out of it looking like he woke up in the gutter. And like the first interaction when he sees the mother, he just like snatches the money. It's like, yeah, I agreed. Like this guy, I would not let him around my kids. And
I thought he was entertaining.
Oh,
you didn't think he was entertaining? Like,
oh,
like those
funny.
kids are the assholes.
I would hire him.
I mean, he was
like, I would hire him
jokes.
now.
Yeah, he had some good jokes. He was making like clown things, some of his tricks. I thought he was hysterical.
When he was back talking the kids, I want to triceratops or whatever.
Yeah, no, he was funny. And if we do another Christmas party this year, I say we invite him because as an adult, yeah, he was hysterical, but he's not meant for kids. But yeah, no, I found that opening scene really, really funny. Again, like the kids are assholes, he's an asshole, and like it worked. And then when he accidentally, like, they tie his sneakers together and shove him, and he falls back and like lands on this knife, goes right through his eye, and then he pulls it out and like blood goes all over the kids and everything. It's just so fucking cool.
For like 30 seconds, it's just a shower coming out of the top of his head for so long. I put in there, I was like, what irresponsible mom puts a giant knife straight up in the dishwasher with children around?
She's probably like, who's gonna go in the kitchen? But yeah, somehow they did. Super funny. And again, the gore, every moment of the gore was always over the top and definitely practical effects. And I thought they did a really, really good job at that because
It looked
a lot
good.
of the scenes, yeah, a lot of the scenes were close up. And again, I really didn't remember this film. Probably saw it like, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago or so.
Yeah.
I didn't really remember it. So I was like, oh, this could be a lot of bloody effects in here. It's probably gonna look really bad right now. No, they actually looked really good. I thought the blood and the gore was awesome.
The umbrella through the eye,
Oh my God.
was insane. That one was so good. I thought that one was fantastic.
Yeah, and then when she falls on the ground, the umbrella opens and like the blood goes flying everywhere. Yeah, I
I
mean,
also
really cool. Go,
I
go.
also put the director loved shots of blood splashing on the ground. Like every kill, we had to see the ground and blood following to it.
You know what? If you buy blood, you want to use it. So he
Yep.
didn't want to have any left over, I guess. And there's a lot of blood in this movie. Yeah, again, it's a really fun. It's tough to make a horror comedy that like hits both, right? It hits the horror, it hits the comedy, and this one does. It's just very clever in how it's written and the characters and the story. And such a simple movie, and it's kind of like a dumb movie in a way, but it is entertaining as hell. And like one of my things that makes it so dumb, it's like the early on in the movie, the kid can't open a jar, and one of the characters is like righty tighty, lefty loosey, and he's like, oh yeah, and then he opens the jar, and at the very end, he's trying to open a jar to get the thing that will kill the clown, and he has to think about it, and I'm like, what a weird callback, like, like usually it's something profound that you have to remember to kill the killer, and it's just like, oh yeah, righty tighty, and now I can.
It was
It's
kids
so
though.
stupid.
It
They're
was
like
kids, though.
15. Like
I thought they were like
don't
16 or 17. I put this kid has never opened a jar in his life.
know. It's so stupid, but it worked. It was funny.
Listen, I think the whole premise of this film is stupid. There's this brutal, gory, like death at this one kid's house during a birthday party. So what is the only logical thing to do a few years later is to have basically the same exact birthday party in the same exact house where that happened. It's like, why don't they be like, I'm not going to that house. Like, why would I want
What,
to
you
go
mean
to
the
that?
clown
I've never
murder
had-
house?
Like people would be talking about what happened in that house all through college. Like no one would ever forget like what happened in that house. And here's a funny thing, which I found really, really funny, is that when he decides, like Tommy decides he wants to throw a party after all these years, he's like, I just want to do something a little small. His friend Vinny just basically, gets on, I guess, with their version of Facebook and just kind of promotes it for anyone to show up. And I want to tell you a pretty funny story, Tim. Me and Rich did that when we were kids. We thought it would be a brilliant idea for us to throw a party called 40s on Ice. And the concept of this party is we would buy a whole bunch of cases of 40 ounces and just have them in ice, and anyone could drink them, and you bring your own.
We had garbage
But-
cans full of 40 ounces.
Yeah.
Like
Oh my
garbage
gosh.
cans. Yeah.
Facebook didn't exist then. So what we did, this is our brilliant thing that we did.
MySpace.
No, it didn't
No,
exist
it
either.
didn't even exist. We made flyers and handed it out like it was a fucking concert, not thinking
At
the
random bars, too,
ramifications
not even like-
of dropping flyers off at like a school, at a bar, at a gas station. We're like, man, no one's gonna show up. It was almost like Project X that happened that night.
That's what I was gonna say.
It got so bad. Yeah, the only reason the house is standing is because there was a horrific rainstorm that happened right in the middle of the night, and everyone had to leave because like they couldn't come into the house. So that was the only thing that saved us to get the people out of the house.
I feel like I need a movie of this. I want to watch it.
It was both
fun
the
and
best.
terrifying.
It was the
Yeah,
best.
okay.
It was the best and worst night of my life. I will say that.
It was so crazy.
Yeah, good times. Good times. I woke up wearing someone else's pants. I don't know why, but that happened.
It's like a workaholics episode.
Yes, it was like
That's
that.
what this party that Vinny was kind of promoting reminded me of. I'm like, man, this party is going to go off. You're doing an open invite on Facebook. Anyone's going to show up, and that party was lit, man. It was pretty good that they had.
I couldn't. Yeah. So what's funny is you're talking about the party that they were throwing, and I wrote a note on this, and I guess people brought stuff later, but like when they're setting up for the party, they do like a close up of the things that they have, and it's a 6-pack of beer, 2 bottles of soda, a bowl of popcorn, and a bowl of marshmallows. And I'm like, all right, this is a party. And it just
That is a party.
and luckily people did bring things, so very different than any party I've ever thrown where no one brings shit and I'm pissed off and they drink all my stuff. But like what I thought was really funny is it always makes me think of these like movies like take place and there's a high school and like there's like 10 people and someone has like a 6-pack of beer and it's like, all right, it's like, what the fuck's that gonna do? We're all gonna have half a beer? Like, so what? I remember thinking it was funny if they showed that.
I put in my notes, why was Tom fantasizing about the clown ripping his friend's dick off?
Oh yeah, that was so very. This happens very early in the movie where the kid's falling asleep in class, and it's disgusting. And
It is.
Yeah, he has like a nightmare, and you could tell they're fans of Nightmare on Elm Street because I believe one of the characters is taking a drug called Hypnosil, which is a made up drug that they used in Nightmare on Elm Street. So clearly that scene is probably a tribute to Nightmare on Elm Street 1 where she has like the nightmare in class, or maybe one of the later comedic ones. But yeah, there's a scene where it's horrific where the clown rips off this guy's balls and then what happens after that? Does he like throw him? I forget what happens.
I was
Something
thinking
gross happens.
Yeah, something gross happens. He holds him up in front of the class, shows him off. I was thinking it was a balloon animal, but that's the intestines later.
Oh yeah, yeah, that does.
Which
happen,
again,
right?
super clever to think to do that and to kind of maintain like that clown humor and kind of make something with like a body part. I'm like, man, this is next level gory and funny at the same exact time. It was so good that they did that. That was like probably my favorite part of the film is when he kind of makes like, that little dog at the intestines or something. It was hysterical.
Here's your Velociraptor or whatever.
Yes.
Good one-liners. You said it. You said he had good one-liners.
And usually in movies like this, the one-liners are terrible, right? But I felt like it worked in this movie. Like they were really clever.
I thought this movie was effectively funny for most of its runtime. And I will say, like, I'm not the biggest fan of Art the Clown because I think he borders on just being sadistic and
Doesn't border, he is.
yeah, it's just too much and it loses entertainment value at some point. Whereas this clown kept it funny. Like it was clown props and jokes and just as it was faker gore than Art the Clown movies, but it looks significantly faker. But it was wildly entertaining and funny.
And you know what, too? The clown, and I'm trying to look up what the character's name was, Stitches, duh.
Yeah.
He plays it very dry, too. Like, he's not, like, yelling the one-liners. He's not over the top. He's kind of just matter-of-fact about it, which I think makes them land better. Because it's not like, it doesn't seem like it's trying to be funny. It just is funny, which I kind of appreciate about this movie.
And I want to talk about my favorite character in this entire film, and that's
Blowjob Kate?
Asshole. No, I liked her, but that's for a different reason.
That was my favorite character.
It was the asshole kid Paul. He basically
pisses himself. That one.
Yep, and that's exactly why I could not get over that. I'm like, I have to rewind that. I'm like, did that really just happen? So Paul's probably like the biggest asshole. He's kind of like the pseudo bully of the friend group, but somehow always shows up to these things. Yeah, but he's dressed up as a clown to kind of like bring back like that horrific event. So it's really, distasteful that he did that, show up to his party dressed like that. But then he gets stuck in the clown suit and he ends up like pissing himself. And like they show it like he's kind of wringing it out. And it was like, I was like, oh, and that one dude like is holding up the glass.
Yeah, they do that joke,
and
which
he catches it.
I think they do that in one of the American Pie movies where like someone's holding a beer and then like someone dumps piss over the top and it lands in it and the guy drinks it anyway and he's like, tastes like piss. Can I get another one? Because they're high school kids, like they don't fucking know what a beer tastes like,
That was the same guy who at the beginning of not the very beginning, but when we go to their first high school age scenes, when he and his girlfriend like push Tom over, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I put in my notes, like there's that scene in a high school where she puts gum on his cheek and then she pulls it off and puts it back in her mouth after it. I was like,
she's
that
nasty.
is disgusting.
That's Monster Munch Mary, I believe, was the nickname they gave her. Oh wait, no, Monster Munch Mary was one of the other girls, but
Sarah,
love that.
Sarah was her name. Yeah,
Yeah,
Sarah.
yeah.
She's the bitchy girl, Sarah. And I mean, she was a great character too. I really liked the
She
both
was.
of them. I think they just kind of like brought like this like that asshole vibe, like even up a level from everyone else. And you're just rooting for them to get killed essentially, like from the first second you see them. And
Yes.
I love the Paul kill where he basically like rips off like his ears and then he like rips off his arms and essentially punts his head off like a soccer ball. I mean, like it was like you're just like, all right, he's gonna rip off his ears. That's pretty bad. It's like that's it. Oh no, he's ripping off his arms now. And then it's still not over. Like it's just like overkill and over blood for like every one of these kills. And to me, that was like probably the best one because like you were just like hoping for that the whole time. Then like you just kind of see his head kind of rolling through like the yard. So I thought it was
And
hysterical.
she's the one who gets the umbrella through the eye, through the back
Mhm.
of her head and out her eye. Fantastic. Like you
I mean,
said,
she made a move
she
with
did.
the
She
heel.
fought back.
Like,
Yeah,
she,
in
she
his
tried.
neck.
She tried. Yeah.
Yeah, she almost
I
took him out.
Yeah, I enjoyed this because you're rooting for them to die. It felt like an old school slasher. This asshole is going to get what's coming to him, and you're waiting for it, and that's what makes it fun. So I usually say on my show, horror movies should do one of two things: be very entertaining or scary. Caveat was neither. This one is wildly entertaining. This one is extremely entertaining.
And what's funny too is in this movie, the kids in this movie, again, who knows what their ages were. I thought they were like 14, 15, which you don't typically see in a horror movie. Maybe they were 16, but they were younger kids. And it's funny that like we're rooting for these like 15, 16-year-olds to get killed, but they are all assholes. Like they all deserve it. Like they're all terrible. Like, they're all, I wouldn't say they're terrible people, but they're just so terrible. Like they're just dicks, you know? So it's like you kind of want to see them all kind of catch it because they're just, but they're typical teenagers, right? They're not like any different than I probably was.
I wasn't even rooting for Tommy, to be honest with you. I'm like, I hope he catches it too. The only person I want to see make it out was Blowjob Kate. You know, that was pretty much it. I'm like, be all right if she makes it. You know.
Oh, so I do have a question. So there is a scene. So there's this character Bulger, which and he locks himself in a closet and he's eating something that's really disgusting. And is it prunes? Like what the fuck was he eating?
Nah, man, it was strawberries.
In cans?
Was it canned straw? It's like pie
Yeah,
straw.
strawberries. Yeah,
so
canned
disgusting.
strawberries.
Yeah,
That's
they're
the
never
grossest
good.
thing of the movie. Is this guy eating canned
No,
strawberries?
look good. It looks so good to me. Actually, I'm like, I want to try that.
I love
Gnarly.
fresh strawberries, not canned ones. No, thank you.
Why not? Have you ever tried it? I mean,
Yeah,
I guess I would
it's
say
the
like,
texture. It loses all like it's just like a slug.
I've never even heard of
I mean,
it. but it's
Bulger
gross.
said it was his favorite. Like when he opened it, he's like, "Oh my god, they have this." It's his
So
favorite.
he locks himself
I
in the
mean,
room and eats them.
So again, I don't know if that is an Irish thing. I have no idea if any we have any Irish listeners out there to let us know if this is a traditional snack. I do not know. I never seen anyone else eat it, but I did know it was strawberries.
I did notice that apparently Irish people have an appropriate appreciation for "I just died in your arms tonight" by cutting
Oh,
through.
that was a really cool scene, and that's what made me think
was
of
fun.
that's what made me think of Can't Hardly Wait. So yeah, when Bulger's getting killed, is they have basically a dance party to this song, and it comes out of nowhere, but it was a cool moment. I don't know, I really liked it. I'm a fan of that song, so it like really kind of like hit. It was just cool to see the juxtaposition between these kids like partying and this guy basically getting his brain scooped out as like an ice cream sundae, which was super cool.
Well, and I noticed during that scene, yeah, he's getting his brain scooped out, but he is dying in Stitch's arms. I was like, this is appropriate. That's a nice choice.
Yeah,
Nice choice.
the movie's clever like that, and I think there's one scene where you see like the guy's head floating in the water, and someone's like, "Oh, he's probably floating around someplace." So there's lots of like little subtle lines like that that are really clever in how this is put together. So, and at the end, during the credit sequence, they do have some bloopers, which is always kind of fun to kind of see. It's nothing you need to see, but it's always cool to see some kind of like BTS stuff in a movie. I wish more movies kind of did that.
I noted, and maybe you guys can chime in on it. They make a big deal about Stitches following Tom and Kate on that little kitty tricycle, which it's a funny scene. It's
I
humorous.
loved it.
But earlier in the movie, he seems to be able to teleport because he explodes the head outside. Then he appears in that guy's bed. And then he's outside again with the, for lack of a better term, he's horrifically body shaming that girl outside. So then he appears back outside with her. So he's like, he went from outside exploding the head upstairs to the bedroom, back outside, nobody noticed. So, and then the very next shot after the tricycle is he appears up on an electrical wire. So I assume Stitches can teleport.
Maybe he's just fucking with them, like just to like, you know, cause them like some like anxiety. He's like, he probably could have caught him in 2 seconds, but just thinking about the character, he was probably just fucking with them, I think. But it made for a funny scene, but it was kind of scary too, seeing him kind of like on that tricycle. I'm like, oh my god, imagine that. Like I'd be a little nervous.
It made me think of, again, for last St. Patrick's Day, we reviewed Leprechaun, and they do the same joke in that movie where, again, he's like on a tricycle. He's on multiple different small kind of things. But again, the same thing. Leprechaun, I think, could transport wherever he wants, just was bored, I guess, and just wanted to fuck around.
Yeah. I will say the other thing I appreciate, because we talked about it in Caveat, this movie is brightly lit. Like the high school scenes look like high school scenes. It looked like it could be a sitcom setting. And then when things get to the gory moments, the lighting gets a little darker. And I'm like, yes, thank you. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, it's really well done. And I don't know if the director did anything after this, but probably nothing that we'd seen, which is kind of a bit of a bummer because it is a really, look, it's a cool movie and it's one that I probably would watch all the time. I just wish it didn't have that one scene at the hour mark, but it's a fun, cool, different take on a slasher movie. And yeah, I think this was his, I know he's done a couple of other things, but nothing we would have ever heard about. Bit of a bummer, but yeah, no. So anyway, let's wrap this one up. We are going to rate this movie. So I'm going to give my rating first. And so if it didn't have the cat kill, I'd probably give this a 3.5, but I am going to give it a 2 just because I'm not going to watch it again. But so if you don't care about animal violence, then this is the movie for you. 3.5. But I'm going to give it 2. Jerry?
Yeah, interesting call. I'm really conflicted. You know, again, it's like I don't watch this film often, and when I do, it is super, super entertaining. And if the guy made a fucking 10-second edit, it would have been like probably a 4.5-star film for me that I watch non-stop. And the problem is that every time I forget about it and then I watch it, that I remember, oh yeah, there's that scene. You know, I don't log these into like a book somewhere where I would remember that scene is there. So, you know, we do tend to forget. I think it was entertaining. I'm gonna rate it a little bit higher. I think I'm gonna give it a 3. It was a good film, and they just made one mistake in my opinion. I don't want to like trash the film, you know, because of it. I'll trash Connor McMahon for putting that scene in, but the film overall, it's okay. So I'm going to give it a 3.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit harder on it because, like you said, I am going to forget, and I am going to put it. If I give it a high rating, I'm going to forget that, and 5 years later, watch it again and be pissed off again. So, all right, so you guys got to drink 2. I'm drinking 3. Cheers to that. All right, Tim, give me your worst. What are you giving it?
So, I'm with you. I put in my notes that I hate cats, but I also hate animal violence. So that's what I put in my notes. And it doesn't serve the story at all. It's just totally random and easy. The only reason why I am going to dock it for that, but it's easily skippable because it doesn't serve any scene. Once the girl's eyeball pops out, skip to the next. You don't need anything else in that room. Move
Good
on.
call.
And so for that, because I am docking it for including that, because saying that, you could so easily have just left that scene on the cutting room floor. Didn't need to be there. Save the prop money. So I give it a 3.
Cool. All right. So Jerry, let's cheers to that.
3. Now, guys,
man.
since it's St. Patrick's Day, I was thinking.
Oh no.
What?
You
Do I
know-
need to get another beer?
I mean, maybe we should play a drinking game. I mean, it is St. Patrick's Day, and I think the world is at least expecting the horror heads and Tim to have a few more drinks.
I know
on
how
St.
you guys
Patrick's
work,
Day.
so I brought the whole.
I'm glad you brought that. So I think we should play a game before we wrap up. It's a quick game. It's a standard game. It's one we play all the time. And I thought it was interesting because the first film that we did, Caveat, was from 2020, and we don't really do a lot of films from that time. And it was just such a strange time in the world, and it was such a strange time for film. We're gonna play this game, and it's called. Oh, nice hero pour right there. The Guinness. I love that. Tim, this game is called Was It 2020? So, are you down to play this really strange time in film and in life?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So I'm going to make it easy. I'm going to let you and Rich be a team. You guys could converse. You guys could, kind of hash it out for a second, but you do have to answer kind of quickly because I don't want anyone going through like IMDb or anything like that. So let's keep it fair. So I'm going to ask you a couple of films, and all you have to say is it was 2020 or it was not 2020. You don't have to give me the year. I know Rich likes to flex his knowledge sometimes throughout the year.
Even though I'm wrong half the time.
It doesn't matter. You just have to say, is it 2020 or not? So you down to play? Ready to do it?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. First film. This is a Brandon Cronenberg film, Possessor.
I want to say yes.
I go yes with you.
God damn it. You guys are already hitting them. All right.
Nice. Why even pour this beer? We're not gonna.
Yeah,
waste.
Might not.
What a waste of a beer.
All right.
You've been spared.
All right. How about this one, guys? How about this one? Ready? The Rental.
I want to say no.
I'm with you. I think it was 21.
Okay.
It was 2020. Sip.
Sip.
See, I flex and I'm wrong. So
That's it. All right. I like that mug you got there, Rich.
yeah, it's actually from the catacombs in Paris.
Oh,
sweet.
Nice.
Many years ago.
I'm using a pint glass of Bass. Pint glass.
Okay.
Is what I got.
That's a nice looking pint glass. Though. Oh, and you have the jar, the mason jar, Tim.
Yeah, it's actually from a distillery in Alaska. So,
oh, cool.
Whoa.
Distillery.
Ketchikan Distillery.
Love it.
Yep.
All right, let's move
Their
on to the
gin was
next
delicious. Go ahead.
one. Candyman remake. Guys.
So I saw that. Okay, so I saw that in the theater.
Yeah,
which
me
had
too.
to have been after 2020 because I don't think theaters were open in LA until 21. So I'm going to say it's not 2020.
I was thinking it was like 2019.
Before the pandemic? No, I think it was after. It was absolutely.
You think it was after?
Yeah, absolutely
Okay.
after.
You just have to tell me if it was 2020 or not.
No.
It wasn't 2020.
It was not.
You guys are right. It wasn't 2020. Do you want me to tell you what year it was?
Yes, I do.
2021.
All right, Rich, you got it.
There you go. Okay, ready? Halloween Ends.
Another one I saw in the theater after had to be after, yeah. Because wait, the first Halloween was 2017. I'm going to say not 2020.
I want to say it was because that was one that was released to streaming the same time it was released theatrically, and I watched it at home.
Oh wait, did I see it? No, you're right. I didn't see it in theaters. Okay, I'll go with you.
No, maybe not.
I'll go with you.
Let's come to a consensus.
Halloween
2020 or
Kills. Halloween Kills was released during the pandemic. So Ends came later. So no, I think Kills was 2020. Ends was later.
Okay, I'll go with you.
All right, you guys are right again.
All right. Oh, duh. Yeah. See, it's that COVID that kind of like
2022. Yeah, I didn't know
up.
you guys are going to the theaters. I just stayed home the whole time, so those 3 years just kind of blended.
Well, once everything opened up here, it's like I was out the fucking house because like we had LA took a long time to open up. So once things opened, I was out.
I don't think I left the house to 2024, but it's
You
okay.
still haven't left the house yet.
All right. How about this one then? How about this one? I got a few more here. How about this one? Ready? Midsummer.
That was before.
Yeah, I agree with you before.
All right, you guys are doing well.
It's one of my wife's favorites, and I remember we started dating in 2020, and she saw it before we started dating, so that one was easy.
You have that little milestone that helps.
Yep.
All right, I just got two more here. I just got to think about what two I'm going to give you. Okay, ready? A Quiet Place Part 2.
Yes, that was a straight to streaming one for me, I believe. I want to say it's 2020.
I'll agree. I don't know.
God damn it, you guys are pretty fucking good, man.
Nice.
Jerry's getting, like, I had a full beer here when I started. You guys could rewind the tape and see it was like
Yeah, I still have a full beer, so there you go.
I've been taking
All
some
right.
sympathy drinks.
All right, here we
Last
go. This is the last one. Tim, you probably remember how this goes. I like to do a little wager at the end. You could bet up to 3 sips on this one guess. You guys are doing really well. I think it's probably maybe 5-3 right now, or 5-2. So you guys are definitely winning. So the question is do you want to make a bet, and what is that bet?
I have a question. Typically, when we wager 3 sips, we're talking about something a little bit harder than what we have in our glasses right now.
No.
So I'm wondering, should we just wager on finishing our glasses?
A full drink? Damn.
Let me see. Let me see what you guys got. All right, how about this? How
Okay,
about this?
I don't have a full. I have a half.
How about this?
half? How about half?
Half?
I'll do half.
How about
our
half?
drink.
Well,
Jerry
half a
finishes
drink.
his because he's got half.
Oh,
Right? What we say
okay.
you got, Jerry? You got it? All right. So Jerry
I got
finishes
half.
his.
I got half.
If we get
I got
it,
half.
you finish yours. I drink half of mine. Deal. Oh man, that's
Deal.
stakes are high here. All right,
Okay.
lock in. Lock in. Let me get IMDb up real quick.
Okay, I have 2 choices here. Let's see which one I'm gonna go with. Okay, you guys ready?
Ready.
For half a drink, which is crazy, on a Monday night. But we are celebrating St. Patrick's Day, so I'm all in. I'm game here. Let's fucking do it. The Forever Purge. Was it 2020 or not? It got really quiet. These guys are really worried. You guys got to answer quicker. Come on.
Okay, I have friends who this is their favorite series, and they've made us watch it all. And no, it was after 2020.
All right, I'll go with
Rich,
you,
you
Tim.
agreeing with that?
I guess. I agree.
Yeah, you guys are right.
Yeah. Drink. The luck of the
brutal.
Irish has fallen to us. Cheers. All right. While Jerry finishes that half a pint of Guinness. Oh, he's doing it. It's up. Oh, God. Shit.
I'm
Keep
almost
going, keep
sorry.
going.
I'm almost sorry.
And Guinness is tough to chug like that. That's gonna be
Oh,
man.
impressive.
All right. Did it. That's a real drinker right there. So Tim, really quick before we get out of here, how do they find you? How do they find out about Dread Broadcast or the Average Reviews podcast?
Dread Broadcast is exclusively live streamed on YouTube, so head over to YouTube, and I believe we're just / the Dread Broadcast, and the same for the Average Reviews. So the Average Reviews is interactive. You can use the same review system we do. It's in our bio on Instagram. Join us for any of the movies that we have coming up. We have our full schedule posted on Instagram.
What's next? What's the next movie? Do you know?
Roll, the fantasy
Krull.
film from 1983. Yeah.
Which I don't think I've ever seen. If I did see it, it was when I was very, very little. Okay, cool. Well, excited to check that out. I know Jerry and I are going to be back on the Average Reviews soon. I think we're also going to be on Dread Broadcast pretty soon. So check that out if you want to see us more. You can follow us on Instagram at Horrorheads Podcast. Email us horrorheadspodcast@gmail.com. Congrats to the winner of our contest, everybody. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, doing all of the things, and that's it. So we usually cheers to get out of here. Jerry has nothing to cheers to.
I just report. I report.
Oh, shit.
Man.
Okay,
I
you
can't
report?
not do it.
So
Cheers to
let's-
say, man, happy St. Patrick's
Happy
Day,
St.
everyone.
Patrick's
Let's
Day.
fucking
Happy
do
St.
this,
Patrick's.
man. And congrats to the winner.
Good night, everybody.
And good night.